Since Benino, don't be neuronic.
Hi, everybody. You know what moronic means?
No.
Moronic. Moronic. Don't be a moron. When you act like a moron, when you're not smart, you're moronic. I'm talking about don't be neuronic. So what's neuronic? Neuronic is being led by the nose by your neurons. So our brains work this way. They work with patterns and categories. You see things and you notice patterns, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously. You also put things into categories. The media, consumerism, everybody's trying to sell you something and tell you how to think. Here's what happens in your brain when you do this. There are little neurons in your brain, and they form strands. And those strands then group with other strands, and they form systems. And when you start to think about something, you default to the strands you've already created. This is useful. This lets you know, run from the tiger. This lets you know, guys who act that way or girls who act like that way, it doesn't work with me very much. You see patterns, they're helpful, but they also can be detrimental when you're trying to be creative because you do the same thing on automatic pilot without even being aware that you're doing it. You think the same way, you react the same way, you follow the same pathway. You can't get out of your own way. Then there are other people around you who are telling you, you need to act this way. This is the right way. This is the pattern. This is what you should do. And you believe them, and you do it. This is neuronic, because you're following a pattern that you didn't choose. Making the patterns is intelligent. Having the patterns to follow is intelligent. Mindlessly following them without being aware of what you're doing is neuronic. You don't want to be neuronic. You want to use your neurons in good ways. So how do you do that? You wake up! You pay attention. You notice what you're doing. You live an examined life. You be intentional. You do something and you go, oh, look, that happened. But then you do that again with a different person in a different set of circumstances, and you're open to the possibility that it could be different. Right? Have you ever suggested something to someone and had them say, well, we've tried that before. That doesn't work. Well, maybe it didn't work for them because they're not good at it. Or maybe it didn't work for them because the people they were working with didn't want to do it. But if you do it, maybe it'll be different. So notice what you're doing. Choose to do things on purpose. Have you ever said to yourself, wow, she seemed to do that without thinking, or I did that without thinking? How many times have you done that? A lot, right? I've done it without thinking. That's not true. It's not true. You are thinking. You're just not aware of your thinking because that neuron path has become so firmly entrenched in your brain that you go down it without noticing it. It's automatic. And because it's automatic, you think you're not thinking. But you are. Would everybody please pretend to brush their teeth? Seriously. When you brush your teeth, where do you start?
The front.
The front. A lot of people start in the front. Some people start in the back. When you're brushing your teeth, what do you think about? You can stop brushing your teeth now. What do you think about? Cavities. Cavities? But do you think about other stuff too? You start out thinking about cavities. You start out thinking about, I need to get in all those places. Some people are excellent teeth brushers, I should say, and they think about that the whole time. But many of us start to wander with our brains. We start to think about other things while we're brushing our teeth. And when we're done brushing our teeth, we don't even remember brushing our teeth. Right?
Yep.
We just did it. Have you ever walked somewhere and then when you get there you think, oh, I wasn't even paying attention. And you wonder how you managed to cross the street without getting dead. And it's because your brain's taking care of you and you're doing all these things subconsciously without paying attention. Worse yet, have you ever driven somewhere and then not remembered how you got there? When I first learned to drive, I thought, oh my God, maybe I killed people and blocked it out, right? Because I had no memory whatsoever. But it's in there because my brain did it for me. Little known fact, research to back it up. If you take a cab ride, you want a stupid cab driver, not a smart one. Ask me why.
Why?
Because smart cab drivers think about other stuff while they're driving. People who aren't as bright concentrate more on the driving, and you have less of a chance of getting into an accident. That's bizarre, right? But it's because paying attention matters. Don't let other people tell you how you should think or what pattern you should follow. Notice what you choose. Notice why you choose it. Notice what made you think of something else. And all of this, of course, like everything, leads to ethics. Because if you make up your mind ahead of time about categories or patterns, you're not going to give people or circumstances the chance. You're not going to evaluate them. You're going to go into automatic pilot. Please don't do that. Take responsibility, enjoy the hell out of your life, and don't be neuronic. Thank you.